Hello friends, welcome back to your UPSC. Today in Geography of India, we are going to continue with the energy resources of India, where we are going to study about the conventional sources of energy. Uh, and today we are going to study about the oil and natural gas reserves of India. So let's get started. So in conventional sources of energy, petroleum is the most important energy fuel of the present era because the coal, it was used in a previous time. It was the important fuel of previous time, but if we talk about the present context, the petroleum reserves are very important for the economic development of any country because it is the most important energy fuel because it is required in almost every industry of the country. Okay, now if we look into its uses, it is used as a fuel resource, obviously. Then next, it provides as a lubricant, and it also acts as a raw material for a number of chemical industries. Now its products like kerosene, diesel, petrol, aviation fuel, synthetic rubber, gasoline, carbon black, dyes, colors, food colors, pigment, explosive, etc. There are many. So they are also used in different industries or even as a raw material. Okay. Now, if we talk about the origin, this oil and natural gas or petroleum and natural gas, they are considered as organic, and the living animals as well as vegetations. So the flora and fauna of the ancient time, they were buried under the soil. Okay, so as they were buried, a layer on them was deposited one after the other, and because they were uh, brought or they were suppressed, so because of high pressure and because they were deep in the earth, they are deep in the earth, because of high pressure as well as high temperature, they turned into uh, they turned into petroleum and natural gas within million year of time. Okay, so they are found in sedimentary rocks. So the gap between the sedimentary rocks, they are found in the gaps between the sedimentary rocks. Okay, then next we have the regions where the crude oil is produced. But before, if we see, look into the areas where the Indian oil is discovered, we can see that we have Upper Assam area where the first time the oil reserves, they were discovered. So we have the area in Upper Assam, that is Margarita. So in this area, we first discovered the oil. Then after that, subsequently, oil was discovered in Digboy, and in the beginning of 20th century, it was discovered in Bad- Badarpur in Assam. Okay. And now, if we start with the crude oil producing region, the first and foremost region is the western coast offshore of oil field. Okay, so the western coast offshore oil field, this is the largest petroleum production oil field, contributing about 65% of the total production of crude oil. That means it has the highest uh, amount of oil that is produced in India. It is produced in the western coast offshore oil fields. Okay, now in it we have the Bombay High oil field, then we have Basin oil field. So they Bombay High, if we see it as the highest producer, and the major amount of oil that is produced in these areas, it is produced in Bombay High only. Then we have the Basin oil field. The Basin oil field, it lies to the south of Bombay High. Here the oil occurs at the depth of 1900 meters. Okay, so it occurs at a very deep area. Okay, in a very deep area. Now this Basin oil field, it is having a rich deposit of oil and natural gas. Okay, next we have Alibet oil field. Alibet oil field, it is located It is located about 45 kilometers to the south of Bhavnagar, and it is one of the oil fields in the western coast offshore oil field. Okay. Next we have is Gujarat coast. In the Gujarat coast we have Ankleshwar, that is situated in the district of Bharuch. Okay. So in Bharuch district, and if we look at the crude oil that is produced here, crude oil that is produced here, it is transferred to the Koili petroleum refinery. Okay, so the Koili petroleum refinery, the crude oil that is produced here, it is sent to the Koili petroleum refinery. Next we have Kembe region. Kembe region, it lies about 60 kilometers to the west of Vadodara. Okay, so here if we look into the reserves, the crude oil reserve is 30 million ton. Okay, and the oil of this region is very light, and the sulfur content in this oil, it is less than 0.1%. Okay, next we have the another region in Gujarat coast is Ahmedabad Kalol region. Ahmedabad Kalol region, it lies north to the Gulf of Khambat, around the city of Ahmedabad. Okay, and from Ahmedabad it is extended up to Mehsana and then to Kalol. Okay. The next region that we have is Brahmaputra Valley. In Brahmaputra Valley, the crude oil, as we have already discussed, it was first discovered in the Brahmaputra Valley, and the oil bearing rock are spread over Dihang Basin. Okay, so in Surma Valley we have Dihang Basin, and the oil beds, they are spread over there. Okay, now the oil fields, we have two oil fields. First is Digboy oil field. Digboy oil field, it stretches over the area of about 15 square kilometers, and it is one of the oldest oil field of the country, as we all know. The next is Naharkatia oil field. Naharkatia oil field, it lies about 35 kilometers to the southwest of Digboy. Okay, and the oil production in this area, it was started at about 1954. Okay, so these two are found in Brahmaputra Valley, and the Digboy oil field. In Digboy oil field, our agency that works is oil, that is Oil India Limited. Okay, now in Naharkatia, the crude oil from this region is supplied to the refineries of Nunamati. Then we have uh, Barauni in Bihar. So in these oil refineries, the crude oil of Naharkatia oil field is transferred. Okay. Then next we have the Eastern Coast oil field. Eastern Coast oil field, the petroleum and natural gas, they are discovered in the marine delta of Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, and Kaveri area. Okay, so these rivers in the on the delta region of these rivers, we have the oil beds of this area. Okay, now we have Rava field in the Godavari Krishna offshore, and here we have like 3 million ton of the crude oil that is produced annually. Okay, and we also have discovered recently the oil in Kaveri region. Okay, so the Kaveri delta area is also included in this area. Okay, but the production of the oil, crude oil, in India, it is very less as compared to the demand of the public. Okay, so we have to import most of our oil, and the important uh, countries from which we import the crude oil, they are Saudi Arab, Kuwait, UAE, Iran, Oman, Sudan, etc. So these are the important countries, and along with them we have ventured with many other countries for the import of crude oil. Okay, now if we look into the pipelines, the crude oil from oil wells, and finished products from refinery, they are transported through pipelines, as we all know, because other transportation much be they may be much hard to carry. Okay, so we have different pipelines for the transportation of oil, and this pipeline transportation system, it is cheap and it is efficient and it is considered to be safe. Okay, so we have various pipelines that are constructed in various areas for the transportation of raw crude oil and finished petroleum products. Okay, so the first pipeline that we see is the pipeline of Northeast India. So in pipeline of Northeast India, we have six pipelines. First one is Nuna Mati. So we have from Nuna Mati to Singrauli pipeline. So this area, it connects Nuna Mati area to Singrauli. Okay. Then we have Lakwa to Rudrasagar and then to Baroni pipeline. Okay. So these three areas are connected. Then we have Baruni Haldia pipeline. Then we have Baruni Kanpur pipeline, Nuna Mati Bongaigaon pipeline. Okay. Then we have Haldia, Mauri, Mayurigram, then Rajbagh pipeline. Okay. Rajband pipeline. So these are the six pipelines that are constructed in the northeastern area region of India. Next, we have pipeline of Western India. So in pipeline of Western India, we have only one pipeline. It starts from Bombay, then it reaches to Mumbai, then it moves further to Ankleshwar, and lastly to Koili pipeline, Koili area. Okay, so we in Koili we have oil refinery, so it is transferred there. Okay. Next pipeline that we have is from Salaya to Koili, then to Mathura pipeline. Okay. Then Mathura, Delhi, Ambala, Jalandhar pipeline is the another pipeline that we have. Then we have pipelines in Gujarat, Mumbai pipeline, Haldia, Kolkata pipeline. Then we have Hajira, Bijapur and Jagdishpur gas pipeline. And lastly, we have Kandla Bhatinda pipeline. Okay, so these are the 9 pipelines. If you look at the map, these are the oil refineries of India. So we have Bhatinda oil refinery, then we have Kenal, Panipat, Mathura, Jagdishpur, then we have Barauni in Bihar, then Varanasi, Kolkata, Haldia, then we have Guwahati, Bongaigaon, okay, Bongaigaon, then we have Nunamati. It can be spelled like this, and OO is also correct. Then we have Numaligarh. So these are the areas. Then we have in south, we have Vishakhapatnam, Tatipaka oil refinery. Then we have Nellore oil refinery. We have Chennai, Nagapattinam, Tuticorin, Nirmanam. These are the oil refineries in south. Along with these, we have Mangalore oil refinery, Kochi oil refinery. Then in Maharashtra, we have Trombe, Mumbai, Devgarh oil refinery. In Gujarat, we have Jamnagar and Koili oil refinery. And lastly, in Rajasthan, we have Pachpadra oil refinery. Okay, so these are the important oil refineries of India. Now, after petroleum, we will look into the natural gas. Natural gas is also one of the most important energy resource of India, of any country. So in India, the exploration of the natural gas, it is done by ONGC, that is Oil and Natural Gas Commission. And if we look into, according to one estimate, so according to that estimate, India is having 450 billion cubic meter of the natural gas reserves. Okay. Now, if we look into the areas of the oil reserves, so the 75% of the total oil reserve, they are found in Bombay High and Basayan oil field. Then we have 12% in Gujarat, 7% in Andhra Pradesh, 6% in Assam. Along with that, in Gujarat we have Ankleshwar and Gulf of Khambat area, which are having the natural gas reserves. Then we have Godavari and Krishna basin. Then we have Tanjore and Singaliput district of Tamil Nadu. then we have Barmer district of Rajasthan, then Kangra in Himachal Pradesh and Firozpur in Punjab. These areas are also, they also have got quite a good amount of natural gas reserves. Okay. Now, if we look into the uses of natural gas reserves, so the 40% of the natural gas it is used in the production of chemical fertilizers, 30% of the natural gas it is used for electricity generation or power generation, and lastly 10% is used for domestic purpose in the form of liquid petroleum gas, liquefied petroleum gas. Okay. Now, the production in India, we have, the production is short for the demand of the people in India. Okay, so the production is very less as compared to the people's demand. Hence, the large quantity of natural gas it is imported, and the most important countries from which we are importing, they are like all the Gulf countries, including Iran, Saudi Arab, UAE, etc., etc. Okay, so this was about natural gas and petroleum reserves in India. So that was all for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's lecture. Let's meet in our next class. Till then, take care and have a nice day. Thank you.